Well, it could be a historic day here for the Sherrill Silversmiths, one win away from locking up what would be their first back-to-back winning seasons. This Silversmith squad has been the most successful in team history and trying to extend a win streak today against another team that has been very, very good this year, the Syracuse Salt Cats. Another change today, the fact that the winner of this one will be sitting atop those NYCBL East standings and hopefully hold on to that spot as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. I'm Brennan Miller alongside NYCBL All-Star Greg Strike. Greg, how are we feeling today?
Great. It is an absolute honor to be in the booth today with such a renowned voice of obviously the Silversmiths, but the Syracuse Mets as well, and I just can't wait to call some 9 innings of Silversmiths baseball. Let's do it.
Well, I appreciate it, Greg, but hey, you're the one in here with the star next to your name in the lineup board. A really good season for you. How's it been with this Silversmith squad that has been so successful this season?
Just, from day one, we've clicked, and it's just so much fun, and it feels like I've been playing with this team for much longer than a month and a half, and we're just so close-knit, and I feel like that's really what gives us the edge over every other team in the league.
Yeah, what do you think that is? Why do you think that this squad, this Silversmith team, might be a little bit closer than other teams that you see in the East?
I think we just know how to have fun. We're a bunch of guys who are ball players, and we don't let the downs get us too down, the ups get us too up, but we just have fun. We go out there and play ball, and we like to win.
Think anything's got a little to do with the coaching staff here as well?
Absolutely.
I mean, you got Ben Grimm, Julian Moffitt, some guys that have been around this team for a long time.
Absolutely. Playing under Ben Grimm and Julian Moffitt is an absolute pleasure. It's a change from what I'm used to at Wheaton at school, and it's been just a great time playing under Ben Grimm.
All right, well, let's play some baseball here,
Let's do
right?
it.
We got Cole Grady on the mound for these Silversmiths. He has been successful this year, not one of the 3 Silversmith pitchers who were elected to the NYCBL East All-Star team, but still has had a solid season for them so far, and he will go against this Salt Cat lineup that starts off with Bordeaux.
Grady usually works in the mid-80s with a slider, a curve, and a change. If you ask me, I think his best secondary is a curveball. He really only throws it about 10% of the time, but it's sharp.
Starts things off with a strike and then fouls it off straight back. Came with a little bit of speed there on this second pitch. So 0-2 up in the count here. You mentioned that curveball. What do you think he goes with?
1-0-2 in the count here. You might see it early. I've been telling him to throw it more often, so let's see if he takes my advice.
0-2 pitch as we get set here. The first batter of the game. Grady trying to start things off successfully, and he does. Went with it there. Gets the strikeout to start things off, and it's 1 man up and 1 man down. This is a little reminiscent of the last time that he threw here at Noyes Park in what was a pitcher's duel against the Syracuse Spartans, where he had a good number of strikeouts in that game.
Absolutely, and you mentioned he unfortunately did not get All-Star honors, but I think he's a guy who absolutely would deserve it, and he's gotten some bad luck in his starts here, but he's a great pitcher, and I can learn a lot from him.
So 4 pitches, 4 strikes here for Grady to start things off. You mentioned he's a guy that you can kind of learn from. Tell me a little bit more about that aspect, because obviously these are guys that you didn't know before 2 months ago. And what kind of things does each guy, whether it's in the bullpen or in the starting rotation, or even some of the defenders behind you, bring to this team?
And that's something that I don't think a lot of people talk about with summer ball, is you're coming together with people all over the country, and it's just so much knowledge brought into one place. And if you're able to just come in and soak it in like a sponge, you'll leave a much better player than you came in. So that's what I'm trying to do with pitchers like Grady. If we have 6 years like Justin Sakarik, who's just so knowledgeable on and off the field, I'm just trying to soak as much in as possible.
The first ball of the appearance here for Grady as he goes low and away trying to get the swing and a miss from Crispino. Doesn't get it, so it's 1-2. Goes with the breaking ball here, and it's fouled off by Crispino, so the at-bat does stay alive for just a little bit longer, but he goes back to that breaking ball there.
Yeah, exactly. Just hung down one a little bit. Didn't really have that tight spin he's looking for. Needs to start that right around the belt, and that probably would have been a swing and a miss.
He tries to go backdoor here with the left-handed bat in the box.
I could see it. The slider's been working early.
1-2. And the pitch. That's what he does. Came with a little bit of heat, but found the outside part of the plate regardless, and it's 2 batters up and 2 batters down, both of them via the strikeout. And Greg, talk about strikeouts. I mean, you're up there in the league as far as guys who have tallied some strikeouts this season, 29 of them through 24 innings. What goes into getting that K, whether it be forward or backwards?
Well, I'm always under the impression that if you try to pitch for the strikeout, you're not going to get the strikeout. But you got to get ahead of batters, and you got to make speeds, change your tempo, and that'll lead to strikeouts. But you definitely can't go up there looking to punch every guy out, because at the end of the day, you're going to end up walking guys and giving up runs.
That's something that Cole Grady has not done this season, a 4.86 ERA. This is going to be start number 5 for him, as a well-hit ball goes to left field, drops in for a base knock. So the first base runner of the day.
Just left that fastball a little bit over.
Some good contact there to get a man on for Syracuse. So the lineup here for the Salt Cats: Bordeaux, Crispino, Brennan. Now it'll be Gonzalez-Perez, followed by Murdoch, Iriotakis, Holcraft, May, and Provell. It's going to be a little different defensively for the Silversmiths. The big change coming over at the hot corner. Third base, Caleb Miller, making one of his first start over at the hot corner today. So he will be over there. Saw that ball go past him. Left to right in the infield. It goes Miller, Hall, then Cuccinata at second, and Schooley at first. Behind the plate is Martin, who fields that strike there from Grady. And then right to left in the outfield, taking a look at it, it goes Dorsey, as he has all season, manning the right side of Noyes Park here. Over in center, Patterson, and then McLean, who has been solidly in this lineup for the last few games, out in left. Popped up right side, Dorsey heading over. If it stays in play, he's got a chance, and just a little bit beyond that line that marks the bullpen out there in right field.
You mentioned Miller playing third for his first start here, and it's just the quality you get out of someone so versatile like that, able to catch, play second. We've seen him a couple times this season. Now getting his first start at third, that's something that doesn't get talked about a lot, but it's a huge help for a team that's had a few injuries during the year. And Alexander Dye, a face that you're usually used to seeing over there, going through a little arms trouble, but nothing too serious. But it's huge that Miller can just step up and play the third base position like that.
And I think one of the most important things is when you have a guy like Dye, who has played third base the majority of innings for this Silversmith squad, you got to find someone who can sit behind him as the runner gets in a stolen base for Brennan, and he will now be in scoring position.
Charlie Martin doing all he can do there with a great backhanded pick and a strong throw, but just a good pitch to run on. Ball in the dirt there.
So 1-2, Grady with an opportunity to end this thing. Same way he got the first 2 outs. If he can get a swing and a miss here from Gonzalez-Perez. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball bounces off the plate, and a lot of spin on that one. Ends up in foul territory where Miller goes over to grab it. So we stay at 1-2.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised here to see him go to either that slider or the curveball here after giving him the high heat, just changing his eyesight's there. He's got to keep a close look at second here. It's 2 outs, so I wouldn't expect him to go, but he's getting it pretty far off the base there.
Yeah, Cuccinata taking a peek over at second base, and now he heads over. He wanted that throw, didn't get it. Grady delivers to the plate. High bouncer. Hall's going to make a tough play here. Fields, and lets go of it. Coming home, throw, not in time. A run comes to score for the Salt Cats. Heads up base running from Brennan, and he's able to get the first run of the game here for the visitors in the top part.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to give credit to the Salt Cats base runner there. That was just a heads-up play. Never really stopped running around in third, but if you're Hall, you got to know you probably don't have a play at first, and you just got to secure the ball there. But like I said, heads-up running by the Salt Cats.
Yeah, and I don't think Brennan had the intention of stopping at all. He was coming regardless of whether that ball came out of the hand of Hall at short. With 2 outs, you can afford to do that. So 2 outs here for Murdoch. Center field, left center, coming in. McLean makes the catch for out number 3. But it is a run on the board for the Salt Cats. They take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the first. Silversmiths are going to have their first opportunity to get one of their own. You're watching Sherrill Silversmith Baseball on the NYCBL Digital Network. So ready now for the bottom of inning number 1. Silversmiths give up the run, now trying to answer back, and the man they will go up against, Joseph Ditzel. Ditzel this season, 1-1. 3 games, this is going to be start number 1 for him. Coming in relief in all 3 appearances prior to today. 5 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 4 hits. On the year has not gone longer than 2 innings pitched. Last pitched on July 1st against the Syracuse Spartans. Gave up 3 earned. Those are the only 3 runs he's given up all season long on 4 hits and 2 walks. So Mason Dorsey, the leadoff hitter here for the Silversmiths, as he has been all season. And why not? He's leading the league in batting average after a good game yesterday.
Yeah, just an absolute staple at the top of this order. When you get on, you just feel like we're going to score. And when you have that, it just brings so much confidence to the rest of the team and the rest of the lineup, and especially when you're pitching that game.
And Dorsey this season with a .440 average. That's 33 hits in 75 at-bats. And add another one for him. This is in the gap. Maybe a chance for Dorsey to get 2. He'll round first, head to second, throw. Not in time. Dorsey gets underneath the tag, and it's a leadoff double.
Like clockwork for Mason Dorsey.
Absolutely. Not a guy that usually hits for power, more of a get on base, take second on the stolen base, and then maybe hope someone drives you in, but finds the gap there. And it's a man in scoring position to lead things off
to a
here.
double, that'll fire up a team early on.
Absolutely.
Your leadoff hitter showing that much heart, and he wants to take that extra bag that bad.
So Shea Cuccinata steps into the box now.
Shea, a guy who didn't get much time early on in the year, but he's been in the lineup more often as of late, and it just seems like everything he hits is hard. And line drives sprayed everywhere, all over the field. He's been hot as of late.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look at the last 7 days, that's 4 games for this Silversmith squad. He's hitting .412,
yeah,
which is well above his average on the season. He started off a little bit colder, but in recent games, he has hit the ball really, really well. 7 hits in 17 at-bats, and 3 of those hits have been doubles as well, so he's found the gap.
Absolutely. Just seems to catch a barrel every time he's up there. Another guy that's just going to instill a lot of confidence in this order.
2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, something letter high there, but he comes up empty. 2-0 pitch, not a bad pitch to take a cut on.
No, he definitely was trying to get every stitch of that ball.
Itzel deals. Popped up right side, going to be tough in that spot right behind first base, but the catch will be made. Ranging over to grab that one, Brennan for out number 1. So you go from one of the hottest hitters in the lineup to a guy who's cooled down a little bit over the last few games, Caleb Miller, who comes into this one over the last 4 games hitting something in the 100s, but he was doing so well at the beginning of the year, the average still up over 300 at 308. He's also got 17 RBI, and the big number, the team-leading 17 walks. Really good eye.
Yeah, absolutely. A great eye. And a guy, even though he's struggled as of late, you're never going to lose confidence in him, and Coach Grimm expresses that by leaving him in that 3-hole. And you know at the end of the day he's going to have a rough stretch, but you know he's going to get back hitting the way he should be. So leave him in that 3-hole and let him do some damage.
Yeah, Liberty League Player of the Year
Absolutely.
From Union College. Mentioned the versatility, primarily a catcher, but we've seen him both second base, third base. He can play in the infield as well. So Dorsey still on second after that leadoff double. Now Miller, at minimum, trying to just move him over. Miller's got a lot of power to the right side here at Noyes Park. He's got a lot of power regardless. 5 home runs, but good majority of those come into that short right field fence.
Yeah, definitely knows how to use the right side of the field. And with one out here, I wouldn't be surprised if Dorsey thinks about taking third, maybe making it a ground ball or a fly ball for a run here.
So 2-1. Lefty deals. Inside, so 3-1, a hitter's count here for Miller. Opportunity to take a cut if he wants to. Just 1 out on the board. Really anything in the outfield should be able to move Dorsey to third base. But no, Miller's going to watch a ball And there it is. Talked about the walks. He picks up
Exactly.
18 on the season and puts a man on first.
Even a guy like Miller, who's maybe not hitting the ball as well as he does, he's still getting on base so much. You're never gonna take his bat out the lineup.
Right. He's seeing pitches.
Sometimes the only light when the moon is tucked away.
So next up, it's the cleanup hitter, Jason Schooley, who is another all-star in this lineup. Dorsey, Miller, Schooley, Patterson, 4 of the top 5 hitters are all-stars for the NYCBL East squad, and Schooley's is because when he hits it, it goes pretty far.
Yeah, there's not much you could say about Schooley, but red hot, and he has just been barreling balls. He's telling me it's looking like a beach ball up there right now, so let's see if he can keep going.
Dorsey heading for third. Throw is going to go to second, but Miller is in safely as well. A little double clutch behind the plate from Gonzalez Perez, and the 2 runners both advance. So now 2 in scoring position with only 1 down for Jason Schooley.
Yeah, absolute monster jump by Dorsey there, and Miller does a great job of seeing that. Even though he didn't know it was on, there wasn't a sign. Dorsey went on his own of following him, and Syracuse catcher, maybe if he would realize it a little bit sooner, he might have gotten him at second, but a good job by Miller.
Now 2 men in scoring position for Schooley, and that pitch breaks low and away. So 2-1. And a ground ball to the right side. Evens things up at 2 apiece. Schooley, not a guy who, at the beginning of the year, you looked at his kind of statistics and thought that he was going to be hitting in the heart of the order. But in the last few games, he has just turned it. I say the last few games, but really since the middle of June, he's turned it on.
Yeah, not a guy who got a lot of looks at his first year at Rowan, but someone who's really flipped a switch here.
And here, a chance to pick up some RBI. That one drops in front of the center fielder. Dorsey had to make sure it got down. He was ready to tag up if it did not, and so it's a tie ball game. Schooley picks up the ribby, and it's 1-1 here in the first.
It's just so much confidence in the top of the order right now. Dorsey gets on, Miller gets on, Schooley drives him in. Seems like that happens once or twice every game, and that's why we've been so successful.
So Miller, after that stolen base, able to move over to third, and so runners on the corners here for the Silversmiths. Good chance for them to add on. Patterson up at the plate, another one of these all-stars for the Smitties, and really he made the all-star team because of the defense and the stolen bases, as this one's popped up to shallow center, and the second baseman goes back to make the play.
Yeah, Patterson, he feels like an absolute vacuum out there in the outfield, and when you got guys like him behind you on the mound, you feel free to fill it up because you know there's going to be people making plays.
I was going to say, before he got out there, he made the all-star team because he's been consistent out in center field for this squad, and he's able to steal bags when he gets on base.
Exactly.
Also leading the team in RBI.
Yeah.
We're just hitting from the middle of the order every single game. He's had his chances, and he's taken advantage of those chances when he
Absolutely, yeah.
been men
He's
on.
come up huge for us a couple times, and it is also a testament to the guys in front of him. Hitting fifth in this order is you're going to have guys up almost every time you come up to the plate.
So now it would be Caden Hall. Fouls off. I'll tell you what, Greg. I talked to Caden Hall's parents.
Yeah.
Or his dad, who was here today. You would never guess that Caden Hall is from Cox Mills, West Virginia. But talking to his dad, if you gave me maybe 2 guesses, I probably could have gotten West Virginia.
Yeah, and his little brother's been running around the dugout as well, and we've got to meet part of his family, and I'd say they're clones of each other. Give me one look at his little brother, I could tell you who he's related to.
0-2 count here. The pitch fouled straight back, so Hall continues the AB here. He's been a guy that's kind of rotated through this middle infield at the shortstop position. Him, Patrick Shrake in that spot. But Hall has been really good. .333 average. 15 hits, not a lot of extra base hits, only the 2 doubles and 1 triple, and yet to go yard. But he's been hitting the ball.
Yeah, another guy who's been really consistent for us and able to play both of those infields. Wow.
And that's a balk called on the pitcher, and so Miller will come home and give the Silversmiths a lead here
We'll take it.
in the first. Yeah, you got to take that any opportunity that you get.
I think think the Syracuse pitcher a little confused about why that was called. I don't know if he got any clarification, but I'm guessing it was the 45-degree rule. And his foot was over that imaginary 45-degree line, is what the base umpire was saying.
Yeah, I have to imagine with the lefty on the mound, that's probably what it was. He was thrown over to try and get Schooley. As Hall hits a home run in an elevator shaft, stays in the infield. And it's caught by the third baseman, but the Silversmiths able to get the run that puts them in the lead via a balk. We'll head to the second inning. You're watching Sherrill Silversmith baseball on the NYCBL Digital Network.